Both children rolled their eyes. Kelly sat up and looked around. Her governess was sitting primly on a blanket spread in the grass a few yards away, talking to the groom who had accompanied Theodore. Both Middleborough Manor and Willingham Park were too far away to see, but she could faintly hear the stream where Theodore had rescued her doll when she was 5 years old. "I was right," she said, her eyebrows raised. "Fine. So I did skip a chapter, but really, this is boring. Let's give the governess the slip and go do something fun," Theo suggested, with a guilty grin. "That's not what I was talking about." Kelly returned his smile. "When you rescued my doll from that wretched village boy Terry, I said that eventually this would all be mine." "Ours," Theo corrected, trying to look superior. Kelly rolled her 10-year-old eyes again as he continued. "This will all be ours." "Oh, I suppose there are worse people to share with than you." Kelly stuck her tongue out at Theo. Theo nudged her arm playfully before getting to his feet. "Come on, let's find something better to do." He held out his hand to pull Kelly up, shaking her head, fully aware that whatever he had in mind would certainly get them into trouble. Kelly put her hand into his. "Calm down, Kelly. We will be there momentarily," her mother said with annoyance. "It's been months and months, Mama," Kelly said excitedly, leaning as far out the window as she could, trying to judge their distance from Willingham Park. They were nearing the bend in the drive, which meant it would be in sight momentarily. She could barely contain herself. It seemed like forever since Theo's father had sent him away to school, and Kelly had been hopelessly bored without him. "And I'm sure young Theodore will behave very appropriately, as I expect you to, Kelly," her mother lectured, but her call was too late. The carriage halted, and 13-year-old Kelly launched herself from it. She started to fly up the steps, but stumbled to a hurried halt when she saw the trio awaiting them. Lord Alston, Theo's father, was tall and aloof. Even from a distance, it was clear that he was not the type to make idle conversation. His wife, Lady Alston, had light brown hair arranged in an elegant coiffure. She was the image of everything a countess should be. Calm, composed, with a welcoming smile on her face as she waited to graciously greet their guests. Of course, Kelly was most concerned about the third member of the party. Theo was his father in miniature, dark hair, tall even as a teenager. Kelly could barely contain her eagerness as she slowed and tried to climb the last few stairs daintily, as her mother was always imploring her to do. "Good evening, Miss Collins," Lord Alston said formally. Kelly bobbed a hasty curtsy to Lord and Lady Alston before turning excitedly to their third companion. "Theo, I've got so much to tell you." "Good evening, Miss Collins," Theo repeated formally. He bowed slightly. Kelly took a step back in confusion. That was quite unlike Theo. She watched him carefully, expecting his characteristic grin to creep across his face at any moment, his laugh to tell her that he was joking with her. But his face and demeanour stayed calm and cool. "Good evening, Lord Alston, Lady Alston." Kelly's mother came gracefully up the steps behind her. "My goodness, Theodore, how grown up you look," she exclaimed, curtsying and holding out her hand formally. Theo took it, kissing her hand and bowing. Then her mother turned to his parents and followed them inside. Kelly remained frozen in front of Theo. What was wrong? Why was he being so strange? "Shall we go in?" Theo said awkwardly after a few moments, holding out his arm. Well, yes?" Kelly trailed off. She didn't know what to do or say, so she picked up the formality her mother had trained her for, the formality which she had never once experienced or expected with Theo. She put her arm in his and allowed him to lead her inside. Chapter 1. She supposed there were worse things, like going to a penal colony in Australia or being kidnapped by pirates in the Caribbean. It must be worse to spend the day in the stocks or go days without food or water. As she sat in the carriage, bouncing along towards London, Kelly Collins continued to make a list in her head of things that were worse than being shipped off to London unceremoniously by her parents with one express mission: find your fiancé and convince him to marry you.